What's up guys, hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. For today's review, we're taking a look at the Heimdallr, Sharkey, Ocean, or the Heimdallr Monster. So let's get right into it. Starting off with my favorite talking point, price. You can find this on the Heimdallr website for $179. And the great thing is that is the out-the-door price, so taxes are already included. For me, shipping was free. I think that's the case for everyone else really, and shipping is fast too, so that's always a good thing. Let's go ahead and do a quick 360. I want you to take a look at how light falls on the case, because there's only so much you can see from a 2D picture. It's great to kind of see it in a more dynamic viewing. And there is the case back. Oh. Actually, let's go ahead and get a close-up on that case back. Here's a better view of the case back, and I'll add a close-up right here for you. I think it's fitting, especially for the price, the quality. You know, it could be better, but we'll talk about that later. For dimensions from 9 to 3 o'clock, we are looking roughly at about 42 millimeters, or 41.9. And then for a case height, right there, just over 13 millimeters. And then lug to lug, this one is always the hardest for me to do on camera, but let's see what I can do here. Alright, so I am getting 47.5 millimeters lug to lug. For weight, I did have one link removed for my wrist, but ballpark you're looking at 189 grams or just over 6.5 ounces. Here it is sitting on my 7.5 to 8 inch wrist. I give that half-inch fluctuation because my wrist does swell up throughout the day, or depending on the temperature. Normally it sits right at around 7.5 inches, but you know, looks just like any other Seiko monster would look on your wrist. Starting off with some functions and features, starting off with the 120 click unidirectional bezel. Very good quality, minimal backplay if any, very easy to grip the gemmed texture of the bezel. And as far as I can see with my naked eye, the lineup is perfect. For the internals, this watch comes with the NH36A movement, which in my opinion I think is superior to the NH35, just because you know you've got the day-date function there, and the fact that you're getting a better movement at really the same price as NH35 is fantastic. We also have a sapphire crystal, which in my opinion is always a welcome addition to any watch. The website says it is a flat sapphire crystal, however to my eye, and even to the touch, it kind of feels like there might be a slight curve. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I think it looks elegant and very well executed here, so either way, curved or flat, I'm not complaining. We've got a screw down crown, and I think they did the crown just absolutely beautifully. You can see the knurling, and you know, I think that gives it a very tool-like industrial look. And also it's just very practical, very easy to screw out, and the threading is fantastic. Easy to screw out, easy to screw back in, you know, just as good as any of my other higher priced watches. So screwing it out gives you access to the hand winding, and then you know you can also change the day, date, and time, and this is a hacking watch. So let's go ahead and screw that in and go on to the next thing. The screw down crown also helps attribute to the 200 meters of water resistance. For lume, it is applied on the pip, all of the indices, the second hand, minute hand, and hour hand, which is fantastic. The lume is Super Luminova C3, which is fantastic. I think, in my personal opinion, Luma Bright is better, But as you can see on the screen, it is beautiful. I normally wake up at around 4 to 4:30 in the morning every day, so it's definitely still dark. And the first thing I do is I look at my watch, and every single time the Heimdallr monster has, you know, obviously it's not super bright, but I can still see it in a very dark room after being in bed for about 6 hours. So, you know, my hat goes off to the loom on the Heimdallr. Taking a look at the case back again, you can see the screw down case back here with the Sharkey design. I think it's great quality, especially at this price range. However, when comparing it to a Seiko, and I'm always going to compare a Heimdallr to a Seiko, it's just the nature of the beast. But I will say this is the one aspect of a Seiko watch that beats the Heimdallr. And it's not a big deal. This is purely aesthetic. It's got nothing to do with functionality. But I'll just say that Seiko does beat them in the quality of their case back, as far as the design goes. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's just the engraving. It feels less refined. I feel like they could have done a better job. So hopefully in the future, as their machining processes get better, they can implement some type of, I don't know, something more polished and better quality, just like the Prospex logo here on the back of the Seiko. Again, not a big deal at all. I just talking about it just to let you know about everything about the watch. Now taking a look at the bracelet, this is really where they knocked it out of the park. With my experience in Heimdallrs, which I only have 3 right now, but what I've noticed is bracelets are great quality, but you know, the edges might be a little bit sharper than my ideal bracelet. Still, you know, perfectly fine, but this one, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I think that this specific bracelet is far superior than from a genuine Seiko. That also is my opinion. You know, I know that the milled steel clasp is, you know, it's not like the end-all be-all to all watch bracelets, but for me, that's something that I prefer. I really like milled steel clasps, just because that's just what I like. I identify, or I correlate a milled steel clasp with quality. Now, if we compare it to a baby tuna, first of all, the links are pretty much identical. Like, I cannot, you know, see anything different. And, you know, this is probably like 5 or 6 times more expensive, maybe like 3 or 4 times more expensive than the Heimdallr monster. And the clasp is a stamped steel clasp, which again, it's not the end all be all to bracelet quality, but for me personally, I just think this milled steel clasp is far superior at a fraction of the cost. So also just a fantastic thing. Now just going over the overall finishing or fit and finish of the watch. Again, fantastic, from the bezel to, you know, the case, and then the links. You know, you've got it brushed where it needs to be brushed and polished where it needs to be polished, and overall really giving it that tool look, but also, you know, kind of like a high quality luxury watch. Maybe not luxury, but you know, maybe elegant. I don't know. It's just a very pretty, good looking watch that looks tough and robust, but still refined, and I guess not indicative of its actual price. So it looks much more expensive than what it really is. Now just going over my personal thoughts and opinions. You know, normally with homages, why I get them is, first of all, it's fun. I think it's an inexpensive way to experience a much higher priced watch. You know, you kind of get a feel for it. Obviously it's not going to be the same, but it's going to be similar. Now, in this case, I don't feel like I need to ever buy a Seiko Monster. This is scratching the itch for me. Now, if we were to take another Homage watch, like this Invicta Pro Diver, you know, it's a great watch, very budget friendly, very fun, but it doesn't scratch my itch to purchase a genuine Rolex Submariner. And, you know, that's just for me. Like, it's clearly obvious that this is not a $5,000 watch. You know, it's not. But this feels, in my mind, exactly how a genuine Seiko would feel. You know, that might piss some of you off, but that's just how it is for me. And the quality is there, the feel is there. I am very impressed with the Heimdallr Monster. And not even just the watch is great. Like, my whole experience dealing with Heimdallr from cradle to the grave has been fantastic. So, you know, you go on their website, you purchase their watch, fine, just like any other transaction. But if you have a question or you name it, right, quality control issue, anything, you email them, and then normally within 12 to 24 hours, you get a response. That in and of itself it's a rarity. You know, you name any other large name brand, you just don't get that kind of customer service. And that might just be because those companies are so huge and they have such a high volume of customers contacting them. But, you know, who cares? Like, all I can see is that Heimdallr is a company that responds quickly and they try to accommodate you the best they can. Yeah, and that in and of itself really does play a role in my overall satisfaction with Heimdallr watches. Now, obviously, you know, nothing is perfect. No watch is ever going to be perfect. Case in point, the chapter ring or the minute markers right here on the outer edge, you know, they don't perfectly align with the indices. You know, but I can only see that with my macro lenses. So I got to look really close to see that flaw. And at this price range, I really don't care, you know. Now, it becomes an issue for me when I'm paying $300 plus. And, you know, if I have issues like that, where I can see it with my naked eye, then that becomes an issue. But here, you know, the only way I'm really realistically going to see it is through specialized lenses. You know, whatever. That's not a big deal to me. And even if it was, all I got to do is reach out to the company, and I know that they're going to respond to me. And, you know, that's just a wonderful thing. So basically, I totally recommend the Heimdallr Monster for you. And unless you're a Seiko purist and you only want the genuine Seiko Monster, I will even be bold enough to say that this is the one that you should get. Don't even waste your money on a Seiko Monster, because you could probably buy 3 to 4 different color variations of this Heimdallr Monster and still spend less than you would buying a genuine Seiko. So it's a fraction of the cost at pretty much comparable quality with the customer service that is fantastic. Shipping is also fantastic. So really, what else do you need? Good quality at a good price. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Highly recommend it. So anyways, thanks for watching. I always appreciate all the support, and I should be putting out a new review, probably another Heimdallr or a steel dive coming up shortly. I'll probably do a live unboxing, and I'll make sure to remind you guys, you know, if you guys are so inclined to watch the live show. But yeah, that should be coming out here soon, within the next week or so. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.